Can the Browns win again? It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, it hasn't been said since December 13th, 2016. But the Browns are on a one-game winning streak. They'll try for two right here, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns as they get set to square off against the Oakland Raiders. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The folks around the stadium clad in silver and black going to make every last game played in Oakland count. They're ready to go as their Raiders get set to match up with the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. It's Baker Mayfield leading him out. He's the man tasked with being the savior of this franchise, the #1 overall pick from Oklahoma.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win.
Here we go now.
They go play action here on first down. An open receiver, that's David Njoku. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The numbers for Njoku from a week ago, 11 catches, 106 yardage-wise, and the score as well.
And he's number 6 in the league in receiving yards, and he plays for his team first. But he also, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, if I can get into the top 5, that might affect his bonus in his contract.
Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, second down. And a peek now at the offense for Cleveland.
An emerging threat in the passing game is David Njoku, who had a really nice rookie season in 2017 with 32 catches, 386 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And many also remember he was the 3rd first-round pick for Cleveland in the 2017 draft, following Myles Garrett, defensive end, and Jabril Peppers, defensive back.
Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
First carry for Carlos Hyde. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green.
A first carry for the rookie Nick Chubb. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Holding offense.
That's on the guard, Kevin Zeitler, first-round pick back in 2012. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Here we go now.
Following the penalty, it's Hyde. And he takes it across midfield to the 45. Call it a 6-yard gain. Still plenty of work to do coming up. 3rd and 14.
And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want. But I will have to say, I think the #1 thing he does best is tackle.
3rd and long for Mayfield. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
On fourth down, the Browns hand things over to the veteran Britton Colquitt to punt. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State. It's the Pro Bowler, Derek Carr.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
A first carry now for Marshawn Lynch. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. The numbers for Marshawn a week ago. 18 carries, 66 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
On second down, here's Carr. And this will be incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target. And that takes us from second to third down. Yeah, the offensive starters here for the Raiders.
Let's highlight a big strength of this team. The offensive line led by Donald Penn, Kelechi Osemele, and Rodney Hudson. All 3 were Pro Bowlers in 2017, but it didn't translate as well as they wanted on offense. Just 23rd in scoring and a 6-10 record.
From the gun now on third down, Carr. He finds Roberts complete. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. And a big 32-yard play on third.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now, down at the 31. Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Myles Garrett in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. The first carry for DeAndre Washington. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. It's the Pro Bowler Jamie Collins that makes the stop. Well, look now at the starters on the defensive side for the Browns. They really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
We had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what was fun to me was hear him say, I like what we did, but we need more pressure on the quarterback this week. What he wouldn't tell us, though, was how he was going to create it. Is it going to be just the front 4? Is it going to be 3? Is he going to bring linebackers, secondary? This will be fun to check out.
Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's fourth down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
So on now is Kai Forbath. If you're wondering, he's hit from as far as 57. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And now Mayfield on the bootleg. His throw incomplete. David Njoku was the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. A look there at how the Raiders will start defensively. They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
So prepping for this game, I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And
too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave them with third and still 7 yards to go.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball. And that way, you often control the game.
They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Baker Mayfield, obviously the #1 pick overall. That was controversial, though. What ultimately made the Browns go in his way?
Well, post-draft, I did hear a Browns executive talk about the efficacy of Baker Mayfield. In other words, how people rally to him, how people respond to him. He talked about seeing him at a workout, how he showed up, yelled out to the other guys. They yelled back with the same response, ran right to him, and they were ready to start the workout. He said things like that and his talent tipped the balance in his favor to go #1.
A first red zone opportunity for the Browns thus far. They're looking at a first and goal from about the 9. They'll run with Chubb. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on second and goal here.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
He'll get it up the middle. And they're going to get him down, but not before a pretty good run right there. 7 big yards on the carry there to get him within range of the goal line with third down upcoming.
The Browns opted not to pick a running back with their first 2 selections at #1.
And he's going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Khalil Mack with a big-time sack on third down. And it'll be a loss of 7.
But it's up to how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. And Gonzalez puts this one through. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. They had it first and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, Do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First down, the run with Lynch. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. Roberts with it over the middle. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Seth Roberts, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Kai Forbath on for the extra point. Forbath, the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. A drive there of just 4 plays, and it ends with an Oakland touchdown. Forbath out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super toe.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 38. They go play action. Mayfield. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
second down, Mayfield again. And he'll find Akins there, complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing, Mayfield. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Khalil Mack in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. In a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic, this is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They start the drive with Lynch. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Again, they'll pound it with Lynch. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
No surprise watching Marshawn Lynch scatter bodies as he runs, but I remember doing games of his at Cal, and I remember the moves, the jump cuts, the elusiveness, as well as the strength.
Lynch running the counter. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee?
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football, and they've got it here with a first down. Following the penalty, Lynch. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Desmond Bryant, the one to get him down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. On second down, Washington. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance, they're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. So on 4th down, here's Johnny Townsend to punt it. Jabril Peppers is deep for Cleveland. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? That's Njoku over the middle. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Defense.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spend too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
That's good for a Cleveland 1st down, an 11-yard pickup.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run. Nice job by that defensive front there to hold them to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Well, too much oomph. Too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Khalil Mack getting him once again. His 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Marshawn Lynch heading back out into the huddle. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. And he'll power his way up near the 25. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot. On 2nd down, Lynch. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They'll run it. Here's Lynch. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This would be a critical call.
Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he's on to punt for Oakland. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Browns offense heading back out to take possession. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
On the tackle that time, Bruce Irvin.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And again, it's Chubb. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. Try to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Well, how about the big guy there showing some agility? He just float from his D-tackle position in order to make that play.
Let's go!
On second down, Johnson. And now running right through it. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
The Browns on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is third down and 12.
Here we go now.
On third down, Mayfield. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Bruce Irvin able to track him down for a loss of 13. And it'll bring up fourth down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. .46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. That's pulled in at the 32. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. Amari Cooper and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think, though, he's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Well, so far, just a single catch. It'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what it said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
They'll run with Marshawn Lynch. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Carr to throw on second down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Cooper was the intended target, and it's third down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
The Raiders on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8.
Down! Waiting!
Throwing his Carr on third down. And he finds Cook. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A Raiders first down. Carr hooking up with Cook.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
A 10th carry of the game for Marshawn Lynch. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Looking to throw on second down. Carr. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They'll give him a yard on the play. And just like that, it's third down. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all. And now they're looking at third down here. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. We'll remind you once again, coming up at halftime, we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He's got stats and scores from around the NFL as we wrap up the first month of the season.
No longer is he a rookie. The coach, a true veteran now.
A crafty veteran. On third down, here's Washington. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. As the offense comes out, we put our Madden spotlight on Baker Mayfield. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll make it a second down. Mayfield. Bryant with a catch right side. First down throw for Mayfield. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Gordon. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Mayfield on first down. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. Now before the second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. And welcome back, the offensive unit. They took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action. And again, it's Mayfield. Over the middle, complete. That's Gordon. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you're throwing so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
Let's go! Green, 39! Green!
On 3rd and 1, here's Mayfield. Drops it off for Chubb. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And the kick by Gonzalez is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. They'll start on the ground with Lynch. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Larry Ogunjobi there to make the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll run again with Lynch. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. So we've reached halftime here in Oakland with the Raiders on top as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone. A lot to get to here this final day of September. So let's get started. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Minnesota Vikings. Jared Goff, 3 touchdown passes as his guys stay unbeaten on the year. Finally, let's get to the desert. Check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Seahawks. Sam Bradford's thrown a touchdown pass. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Sometimes we wonder about play calls, but this one made perfect sense to me. He's got the only touchdown that they've scored in this game. Tried to get it to him again on another deep ball.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be a third and about 13. Shotgun now for Carr. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Roberts. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A Raider first down, 17 yards. They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 41. Carr gives to Marshawn. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
On play action, now Carr. And he almost had, could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Manuel. This will be caught inside the 10. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
Alan Sink was the quarterback in his center on that play. They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
They'll run with Lynch. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Now Manuel. And that is incomplete.
They converted twice on third down that drive already, but couldn't make it a third. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
On now is Kai Forbath to try the field goal. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. And Forbath will put this one through. And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier. This time, there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
Forbath now to kick it away after the made field goal. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Let's go!
Mayfield now on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The Browns on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Mayfield from the gun on third down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
And we're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That first down run could not have turned out worse for our defense, because when they came out on the field, their number 1 mission, keep them stacked up close to their goal line, and at worst, create great field position for their offense.
They'll keep pounding here with Lynch. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stump that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Raiders on third down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. E.J. Gaines the one that time to knock it away.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he's on to punt for Oakland. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And taken at the 46. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped.
Here we go now. Green, pass!
Mayfield on 3rd and 2. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down. They're looking for a spark defensively. When he went for that ball, probably thought he had a chance at the pick. Now, remember, they had 2 last week in the win. Obviously losing here.
Well, you talked about looking for a spark, and the best sparks are when you make big plays for your team, and he had an opportunity there. Couldn't haul it in, but that doesn't mean they're going to back off at all. They figure if they can get one of those takeaways, they can spark their team to a win.
Handoff comes to Lynch, and he'll power his way up near the 25. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels. Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Mayfield now gets it to Gordon. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pick up there of 20 yards. First down, Mayfield. Dumping it off for Johnson. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and short.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
To throw, Mayfield dumps this to his running back, Chubb. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And off comes to Chubb. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And the Raiders have got him. Khalil Mack in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. You thought we'd see pressure. You weren't kidding.
Yeah, I thought that they'd be very aggressive in that type of a situation. And that's what they call getting home, because home is where the quarterback is.
And where the heart is.
And that heart just got shattered in 1,000 pieces.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So make it 2 missed field goals for him now, but I have the sense, given that distance, you can probably forgive him here on this one.
Yeah, this is out of the range of just about anybody on planet Earth except probably you, partner. But you just got to drive it out low and hope that somehow you hit it absolutely perfect. but no real chance for this one to go through.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in the East Bay. It's the Raiders with the lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Here's a give to Lynch. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Looking to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
A 2nd down throw for Mayfield. That's Njoku over the middle. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. A gain of 32 that time.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 25-yard line.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. To the right side and complete to Njoku. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
more yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the past, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
A run for Nick Chubb, and he'll get this down only to the 18. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Desperation time. Mayfield on 4th down. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call.
Pass interference. Defense.
Trying to stick with Dez there. Got too physical. Pass interference.
I like your note there. So physical. Hard for any defender to cover Dez Bryant without drawing a pass interference call.
Following the penalty, Chubb. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
It's a loss of 10 yards on the play, and it'll be a 2nd and long. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. And his throw is incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Laundry on the field. This is going to be a false start on the offense.
Sometimes you have to slow things down a little bit when things get heated. The cadence has to be slow and deliberate at times to make sure your team's ready to go.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. And now movement again, and they'll march even further backward.
False start, offense.
Now they nab the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
3rd and long for Mayfield. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And Gonzalez puts this one through. And that gets him back within a single point. It's now 10-9. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
Switzer now to return. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Carr going to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Carr will try it again on 2nd down. Bryant with a catch right side. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Now Carr. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gassed,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield and giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football. Got to give credit to both defenses because they've been able to keep the points down. And despite that incompletion, I like the way he's playing. He's putting up decent numbers. What he has to do, find a way to make that sound read and hit that one home run before this one's over.
And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make this a 2nd down. They should have gotten more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off-kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
1st down marker at the 31. It's 3rd down.
Here we go.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Bruce Irvin in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. If you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
They'll start the drive in Washington, and he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball.
Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Holding offense.
That's on the big guard, Gabe Jackson. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. They'll try and wind down some clock with Lynch. And able to find a little space. He gets this up over the 15 to the 16. He's able to get 4 back on the run, but now they'll have to find something here on 3rd and about 14. Now a play fake. Carr. He finds Roberts, complete. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Carr now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. On the handoff, Lynch. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Carr gives to Lynch on the draw. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
Maybe the old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. On 3rd down, they go Lynch. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here now, Johnny Townsend. He's been terrific so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket.
There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. And this is a spot where you can learn a lot about a young quarterback.
And that's why they brought him into the organization, because you don't just bring them in strictly for their talents. You think that they have that something special in them that will allow them to function in these types of situations. Now it's time for them to be clinical and not emotional. You know your play sequence. You know what has to get done. Get the ball to the right people, get out of bounds, and get it downfield and try and score.
Yeah, he's trying to earn his stripes here for a winning drive. He's back to throw. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. They'll look to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Going back to Lander. This time he's got it complete. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved.
False start, offense.
That was a third and somewhat manageable now, not so manageable.
Exactly, because you had a play call on that you felt like, hey, this could go quick, and it doesn't take much to get it done. Now, you got to start thinking about a little bit of a deeper route type of a call, especially if you want to throw it.
Back to throw. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Finding room inside the 40. And finally marked down at the 23. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. A give. This is Chubb. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Third down, Carlos Hyde. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up fourth down.
Got a quick flash about being in their huddle. Whatever the play call was, it was tagged with these words. Make sure you stay in the middle of the field. That's where we want to be.
And he did just that. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. He has missed twice today, but he can make up for it here. And his kick is good. A little bit of redemption after he missed 2 field goals earlier. And the Browns are going to win the football game. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Browns, it'll be a .500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they will try to turn it around next week as they head down to Carson for a matchup with the LA Chargers. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Oakland, we sign off. So long, everybody.